America's natural gas boom is having a profound effect here and around the globe on everything from energy prices to politics. It's also sparking questions about the impact of fracking on the environment and human health.
The U.S. now leads the world in oil and natural gas production with 11 million barrels a day. We use nearly 19 million barrels of crude oil daily. 7.5 million of those barrels are imported. Oil man and entrepreneur Boone Pickens is calling for a national strategy for America's new reality as a major player in energy. He's with us at the table. Good morning, Boone. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look, we're in a great place, the United States. We have now surpassed Saudi Arabia and Russia as the world's largest oil and natural gas producer. Why do we need more government involvement? Business is working.
It's working. There's no question about it. But give a little credit for what's happened. That the oil and gas industry in the United States, the most dynamic industry you have in this country. We're on our own resources, doing very well. We have moved to the top. Now, that's total energy. We don't produce as much oil as Saudi Arabia and Russia. We're about 8.5 million, they're 10 million. But we produce so much more gas. So when you convert everything to either barrels of oil or to gas, we're the number one, which is great.
So why do you want a national energy plan? It seems like we're doing well.
Well, one, for instance, I mean, you need to get the Keystone Pipeline. You need to have you need a North American Energy Alliance. Bring together Canada, Mexico, and the United States. Then you can just...
You want to get rid of OPEC.
Say goodbye to OPEC.
Exactly. That causes us more problems. Money we have going into some of those countries, not all of them, but some, gets in the hands of the Taliban. That came out of a CIA, Jim Woolsey, you remember, he was director of CIA, and he said that is happening. I believe that to be the case. Change up the game. You play the same game, play the same tactics every time.
You get the same results.
But how does getting rid of...
You get the same results, you would say.
You do, but what happens, they know what you're going to do. You know, if you're gonna screen and shoot the same guy every time, hey,
and you're saying we need to focus Boone Pickens. You lost the T last night. It's now Boone Pickens.
No, I didn't lose it.
You didn't lose it. We're just not saying it.
No, but we're just not saying it. We're just not saying it. T stands for Thomas. I always like that name. But you're saying we need to focus on natural gas.
Natural gas, you're overwhelmed with it, but you also you have a great amount of oil in this country. I mean, for instance, the Permian Basin has produced 40 billion barrels of oil, and they say now, well, they have another 40 billion to produce. Nobody, I'm a geologist, I'm supposed to know those kind of things.
Right.
I read them every day. They're really, we have some great technicians in this country.
You point out part of the increase in energy production in the United States is because of natural gas. You got into a little bit of hot water yourself when you said recently that fracking, quote, isn't going to hurt anybody. But there are a lot of studies that suggest otherwise. A recent medical journal found that 700 chemicals were used in fracking in Colorado. Nearly a dozen of those chemicals were linked to cancer and reproductive issues. Is natural gas production, fracking, dangerous?
You said, when you started off, I got in trouble.
Well, I said hot water. Yeah, okay. A little hot water.
All right. I'm not in hot water. Listen, I have fracked over 2,000 wells in my life. And the President of the United States gets on 6 months ago, a year ago, and said that believe it or not, he didn't say believe it or not, but that the Department of Energy, the DOE, developed fracking on their research and blah, 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 30 years ago. I saw my first frack job in 1952. That's 60 years ago.
But address the question that fracking isn't going to hurt anybody. You still stand by that?
I absolutely stand by it. Of course I do. I mean, go back and look. There have been over 1 million wells fracked. There's not anybody standing out there saying, you know, picketing Boone Pickens, he fracked 2,000 wells and he ruined this and hurt somebody. No,
but Boone, they just had the story in Texas.
But Boone, you can't completely dismiss all safety concerns.
Well,
I mean, there have to be some issues potentially that are worth looking into, right?
Well, Jeff, you've been fracking wells for 60 years.
Well, I haven't personally, but I understand. I mean, I know they have been. I just, you know, when you see...
think with me just a second. Sure, there were things back then, 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, but if you come forward, my gosh, I mean, there just aren't any complaints about it. You've got some environmentalists that got themselves, you know, in a fit over it.
No, but you have the story, Boone, just in Texas last month, in April. A couple awarded $3 million by a Dallas jury because they said because of the fracking. Spills and emissions from the fracking had contaminated their ranch. They argued that pollution made them sick, as well as their pets and livestock, that calves were born dwarfed. And they were awarded $3 million. So somebody thinks that fracking
There's no
is causing
question.
problems. Yeah.
Somebody was damaged. So you've already, right quick, you've proven me wrong on what I said. No, but
are you rethinking? That's all we're asking.
Okay, but I don't know the circumstances of that, and I don't know, you know. But somebody was awarded $3 million. And a jury, you have to assume a jury knows what they're doing. They look at the facts. But anyway, it's something that I'm surprised. Just like this last week, Germany says they're not going to frack.
For 7 years.
But they want us to send them gas. Wait a minute. Wait just a second. I mean,
Boone
you're not
Pickens,
even willing to help.
We have to go. Congratulations on your marriage.